Hey y'all, John Johnston, CornNation, here to talk to you about Nebraska football spring storylines, because spring is just around the corner. Seriously, it is, apparently. Scott Frost will have a press conference on like Monday, February 28th to launch spring 2022 Nebraska spring football. And what are the storylines? I'm really interested in actually hearing your comments about what you're interested in paying attention to in spring football. And maybe you're not even interested until the fall, but you know, it's a way to kind of extend football and have football in our lives for a while. Look, I have notes, but I have 5 areas in which I'm kind of looking at with regards to Nebraska spring football. Number one is, these are probably pretty obvious, but what the hell, we'll go through them anyway. What else you got to do? Number one is the offensive staff. I was going to say, you remember years ago in Bill Callahan's first spring game? You know, there's probably a lot of you that don't, because that was a while ago now. But you know, we fired Frank Solich, and you can go into that all you want, but everybody cheered when Nebraska came out, lined up in a West Coast offense, and they did the shifts in Bill Callahan's offense. I distinctly still remember that. You know, look, they're shifting and it's not the option. Everybody was upset that, you know, Frank's offense wasn't very good and we were losing more than we were used to. And now we had this West Coast offense and this offensive genius. Now, how does that apply to now? Well, I think it'll be interesting to see what the offense looks like. I mean, you're probably not going to get a whole lot of it from the spring game, but it is the one talking point that we have for Nebraska football, that we kind of glom as much as we can into this and then spread it out. You know, over the course of my travels with this sports scene thing, I've talked to a number of coaches, and a lot of them have told me that spring is their favorite time to coach. And it's their favorite time to coach because they don't have to worry about game plans, they don't have to worry about opponents, they don't have to worry about you know, talking to the press about the upcoming games. There's no pressure to win. Imagine that. And deal with, I don't know, Nebraska's fan base. Yeah, so there's just a lot of fun, and they enjoy coaching during spring more than any other time. So when you look at this offensive staff, what are you looking at? What is Mark Whipple going to bring to the offense, right? What's it going to look like? Is it really going to look any different than Scott Frost's offense? And that leads us to 2 more things. Who are you really going to watch? You know, if you're going to watch the spring game, it's just a few hours, but it's a few hours of glorious fun. And I'm guessing that I am the same as everybody else when you say the quarterbacks. Casey Thompson, Chubba Purdy, Heinrich Hardberg we've seen, Logan Smothers we've seen a little bit of, Richard Torres is going to be new. But we've had the same guy at quarterback for 4 years, and now he's gone, and we made a lot out of him. I mean, the name Adrian Martinez has been sworn at, blessed, praised, every emotion you can think of run through the gamut in those 4 years with Adrian. And now we're going to have a new guy, probably Casey Thompson, but you never know. So what are they going to look like? How are they going to play? Are they going to be accurate? Are they going to run? Going to be fun? What are we going to hear about them? What's their favorite kind of pasta? Number 2. The offensive line. There's made a big deal out of this over the many videos I've done, that our offensive line was pretty offensive, and especially our tackles. And what's Donovan Raiola going to do with our offensive line? Are we going to look at it and go, well, it just looks like an offensive line because it's the spring game and it won't be that, it won't be that live action-y probably, but it'll still be a chance to see how they look, maybe see how newcomers look. Anthony Hunt. We won't know let's be realistic, we won't know till fall whether or not this staff is going to be a good staff and all work together and win games. But part of this is pretending, okay? So just go along with it, pretend, because it's fun. Wide receivers. This is all offense. I got to have one defensive thing in here, but wide receivers. We have new wide receivers. I think we know what our existing guys look like. But what are the new guys going to look like? I think last year's spring game, I was down on the field with a camera for that, and you came out of that spring game and you saw Samori Toure, and you went, that guy, he's a football player. And he proved himself to be a football player during the season. And, you know, what are our new guys going to look like coming in? Dude from Trey Palmer, the guy from LSU. We have, like I've said in other videos, 14 scholarship wide receivers. Is anybody going to stand out? And that goes to the running backs, too. Are we going to see new guys? Or are we just going to look at the same old guys like Yant? Now that we know who he is he going to have more pressure on him? It's all offense. I think that's the biggest key to this is what is our offense going to look like? How is our offense going to perform? And will we have fun? And then I think the other big key is the defensive line. I did the earlier video on the defensive line, and that we don't, you know, on the defense, and we don't have a lot of depth there. And I think really what's going to come out of that and the stories about spring is finding out who's going to emerge, who's going to play on the defensive line. Because we're going to need a bunch of guys. You got 300-pound guys mashing into each other every play, and they're going to get hurt, and who's going to be the guys that are going to be in there? That's my 5 spring storylines. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say, certainly, if you're even going to pay attention. I assume since you're watching this video that you're paying somewhat of attention to Nebraska football, especially around the spring game. So let me know. I hope you're all doing well. Please subscribe and share my channel with everyone you know. Thank you. Go Big Red.